He had intended to drug the officer to ease his suffering before killing him, but to his surprise, the officer revealed the police chief's shameful secret. It turned out that the police chief had been secretly tampering with evidence all along, and in return, accepting bribes from suspects. If these deeds were made public, Chief James's career might be over for good. To turn the situation around, he watched the surveillance footage over and over again. Finally, he noticed that familiar figure. He suddenly remembered seeing this girl at the crime scene. She was Lisa, one of Jack's former students. Soon, Lisa was summoned to the police station. He pulled out a case file that clearly stated Lisa had once tried to strangle Jack with an 4-tube, after which Jack had revoked her medical license. So all those black market surgeries were Lisa's doing, not Jack's. Now that the captain had pieced together the entire sequence of events, Lisa could only feign composure. Fortunately, there was no evidence against her at the moment, so they had no choice but to let her go for now. Lisa immediately called Jack to tell him that everything was ready for the surgery. Little did she know that Jack had no intention of performing the procedure at all. However, he had learned that James had set his sights on Lisa. To clear Lisa of all suspicion once and for all, that very night, he lured James to his secret warehouse. As soon as the captain walked in, he saw a freezer chained shut. When he opened it, he found the young police officer's body inside. Just then, a recording of the young officer identifying James began playing from the table, and Jack slowly emerged from the darkness. Strangely, he didn't use the recording to threaten James. Instead, he took full responsibility for the murders of John, the young police officer, and even the young nurse. He completely exonerated Lisa and shouldered all the blame himself. Meanwhile, Lisa waited in the operating room all night long. At dawn, Jack's friend arrived to inform her that Jack insisted on postponing the surgery for a month. But wouldn't that be exactly when he was supposed to die? Lisa thought Jack had gone mad, but she didn't realize that this was exactly what he wanted. He intended to let his condition worsen before the surgery, so he could fulfill his final wish, to die on the operating table. Jack wanted to use his own life to teach Lisa one last lesson. He knew Lisa all too well. Like a surgical machine with a perfect track record, she could only find pleasure on the edge of a scalpel, yet was utterly indifferent to life. A doctor who knows only success and not failure will never be whole. He wanted Lisa to lose herself with her own hands, to experience heart-wrenching pain, to learn to revere life, and thereby understand the weight of being a doctor. Meanwhile, Lisa was frantically searching for him all over the world, completely unable to comprehend Jack's well-intentioned plan. Jack had cut off all contact and had long since gone into hiding in a secret location. The young police officer's body was soon discovered, and the owner of the house turned out to be Jack. Fingerprints on the wine glass and DNA from a cigarette butt on the table provided irrefutable evidence confirming Jack's identity as the killer. It was all part of his agreement with James. He confessed to all the crimes and promised not to expose James, but only on the condition that his arrest be delayed for a month. The police issued a warrant for his arrest. Once a highly respected top surgeon, he had now become a fugitive suspected of murder. Lisa completely lost it. Finally, she remembered the mob boss whose life she had once saved, so she asked him to help track him down. The mob boss pulled every string he had, and sure enough, they tracked down Jack's location. But Lisa didn't go there herself. Instead, she sent her assistant to pick him up. He didn't want Jack to take the fall for him, so she went to confront James in person. But the sheriff told her that Jack had confessed to everything and that he would arrest him in a month. By then, Jack might already be dead on the operating table. However, Lisa firmly declared that she would definitely save her mentor. Seeing Lisa's confident demeanor, James felt that Jack might actually be saved and then expose his own dirty secrets. Amid their intense standoff, Lisa's threats completely enraged him. Just as Lisa was about to leave, the captain was suddenly overcome with murderous intent and drove his car straight into her. He dragged Lisa out of the car and stomped hard on her hand. If he broke even one of her fingers, the surgery would have to be abandoned. Seeing the dire situation, the assistant scrambled out of the car and shielded Lisa with his body. Hearing the assistant's agonized screams, Lisa's gaze gradually turned fierce. She then pulled out her trusty knife and delivered another clean, decisive blow that ended his life. Upon learning that James had been killed, Jack could no longer hide. He had no choice but to temporarily abandon his plan and immediately drove over. Facing the gruesome scene and the trunk overflowing with blood, he immediately used a handkerchief to retrieve the car keys. The very thing he dreaded most had happened. With no other choice, Lisa could only turn to her teacher for help. And this was the first time Lisa had ever shown vulnerability to her teacher. At that moment, both of them finally let down their guards and honestly revealed their truest selves to one another. Lisa wanted nothing for herself. She just wanted her teacher to live a good life. But Jack still insisted on having the surgery in a month. Seeing that further persuasion was useless, Lisa prepared to forcibly take him away. But Jack was even more stubborn than she was. He struck her with a stick, knocking her out. He then took out a cell phone and slowly walked away. Finally, he dragged James's body along and drove off in his car. This was the last time Jack cleaned up after Lisa. A month later, Lisa finally received a call from the teacher. The two met in the operating room as planned. By now, The teacher was on his deathbed. He mustered all his strength to shake Lisa's hand and say goodbye. But Lisa didn't reach out to him. Lisa remained absolutely certain that this surgery wouldn't fail and couldn't fail. Time flew by, and half a year had passed. It turned out that Lisa's 3 Rottweilers hadn't been burned to death after all. Instead, Jack's assistant had secretly hidden them away. Today, the assistant had also brought in a new job that required Lisa to handle personally. The surgery would once again take place in a clandestine underground location, but this time, she would no longer be fighting alone. Someone had joined the underworld circle she had once looked down upon. It seemed that, in the end, Lisa had won that battle after all.